Morning, 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 morning. All right. Contract rollover. Make sure you're on the correct contract. If you're on Top Step X, it automatically rolls for you. If you're on other platforms such as Quant Tower and others, you're going to have to roll to the next contract. I believe that the contracts still have a chance to trade higher volume on the M, but we can definitely make sure we roll it. You'll get enough volume on that front contract. September. I'm going to roll all of them, the Russell as well. Russell U. Cool. And S&Ps. EU. CME futures. What in the world? Okay. Cool. All right. Looking at this, getting a little bit longer in the delta here at this low, this kind of wedge pattern here. So could expect a little bit of a pop on the open here. I am going to be patient with this. This is literally all we have as far as information is concerned. I got a hair in my face. Okay, we're good. Not a ton of information to go off of, right? I need to see what's going on here for a second. Hey, buddy. What's up? All right, let's see what we can do on these combines on this first little open. I am going to be copy trading across 3. Looking to get some more funding here. I have my one XFA. I executed one $20 winner on Friday just to make sure that I have an executed day. They don't even question it. We're not going to trade that right now. I don't trust this open to be anything that's worthwhile for me. So let's see what happens today. This will probably be my only stream of the week. If I do stream tomorrow at all, it'll be a quick hello, goodbye. Wednesday, markets are technically closed / lower volume federal holiday. Thursday and Friday, we're going to have to see if there's going to be any time early in the day in the session that I can hop on and just say what's up. But this week, today will be the only real full day. So let's see what we can get out of it. See if we can kind of at least understand what kind of price action we got going. The levels that I was mentioning that were going to be interesting for this open would be this 940 level. So this 940 right here is going to be important for me to say bullish, bearish, over and below. It's our major structure level over the last, since we've been up here. So it's not like a long period of time, but it's just something to keep note of. Down to 930 would technically be the overnight low, that 930.25. Previous session, really don't have a ton of great information on that because this is the rollover and we didn't trade this contract on Friday. The previous day high, according to my algo, with the rollover, is 19,951.50. So we're just about to kick off this session. Everybody, hopefully, have a great trading day, and let's get it going. What's up, Scrooge? Opening away from the overnight levels, opening below VWAP. Let's see if that actually changes. Yeah. Below VWAP, 19,968.95. Yeah, so that's right to right. Morning, Jovi. What's up, brother? I'm feeling like I'm going to be really patient here. Market's now open. I don't really have a great direction on everything. We did tick off on 20,000 overnight. Maybe right now we're going to want to do it again. I want to see what kind of price action happens around these levels. And then we're just going to be really patient because it is rollover. It's going to be a volume, change. We are in that front month is the U month. So just make sure you have that. In the write-up, I mentioned that 940 is going to be the bullish bearish line in the sand. We did hold above it on the open now, so potentially could rotate up a little bit from here. Give me one second. I'm going to close this door real quick. So it's diverging a little too, right? S&P's is pushing down right to that overnight level there, that yellow line, 54.93, and the NASDAQ is pushing upside to the VWAP. So who's leading, who's lagging? NQ has been leading. Yep, still pushing upside. All right. Right up into VWAP. S&P is looking like it wants to crack through that level. Sorry, I'm doing some business. Coffee stuff. Yeah, this is going to be an odd session with rollover. I mentioned a few different things that were in the write-up about Wednesday being a holiday. Friday's going to be triple witching. So there's going to be some interesting price action this week as well. June, end of quarter is always a little funky, but we're going to see what happens with the rest of the day. So we have the manufacturing index was this morning, came out -6 as opposed to -9. Nothing that's like that important, I think. Then at noon, you're going to get some Fed heads talking, so just be mindful of that if you are trading around noon Central Time. So our opening range right there is about 57 ticks. We are breaking through the opening range low. Heavy delta. So this might push downside with that S&P's pushing down. This 40 level. I'm going to watch that. Nvidia's selling some. Right down to that, almost that 40 level there. How we doing, Jofi? Everything good? Make any money in that London session? or the Globex, that you call it in futures world. Always is. The London session's not terrible, especially with this wick of 20,000. Could have definitely played reactive on 20,000. So at these levels, really, I don't have very much information. I'm just going to be watching the two indexes here, right? S&P wicking that overnight low, giving a bounce, and the NQ not bouncing, right? So there's some weird price action diverging there. Down to 26.30, right? That overnight low. Let's see what happens down here. It's getting a little heavy. Delta is pretty heavy, right? Straight down. Big wick there at the bottom of this, a lower band of VWAP. S&P is getting big buying delta. It's going to be very interesting because, like I said, with roll, it pushes everything into this time. Let's see, I got that over here. CME group. Yeah, so people have to roll their contracts into here. So Friday's June 207 at close, 78,000 open interest. So like we're changing, right? They're losing open interest in the June and gaining open interest in the September. Today this number will change after market close, probably around, it says 220 Central. So see if there's more information when it comes, but it's tough to see what they want to do. But that's why it's going to be a little funky with the price action. Certain things may not work, right? Because they're trying to get their contracts from the bigger players are taking it from June to September, so they got to do it in a way that makes it good, like for them. They're not losing money. That was really nice little wick there. Could have, in a normal session, look for this to be a good buying opportunity, with the delta starting to creep back up. But we are still below that opening range, still below VWAP. So there's, and then that S&Ps. I just think it's going to be a little wonky with the price action. So I'm not really trying to rush into anything today here, Monday. I know it is only my first day of the week and the only real full long trading session on stream, but I don't want to force things just because that's the reason, right? Nvidia's kind of just lingering around that 133 that open price. Microsoft wicked the high at 444 and has started to sell a little bit, so that's interesting. Apple dancing around between 214 and 213. AMD dumped. Microsoft. I'm gonna watch Microsoft for a little bit because it is heavier than the Nvidia, and I know Nvidia has been really like the driving force of this market. So I do like to watch Nvidia mostly, but I'm gonna do that with this. Keep Nvidia on top. When it is giving a little bit more buying pressure on the Nvidia markets. And Microsoft curling off the bottom at 442 up to 442.74. So this is interesting here. Holding that opening range low. Is there anything sitting on the orders? Let's see. Surface Dom. So we got not such crazy heaviness on the order. Down at the bottom, there's 83 lot. There's a 80 lot at 46, 45, 81. So 45, there's some interesting size flashing down here. It's not sitting there though. And then up above as well, 85 above. So around 966, 967. Russell trying to push down. If this bounces here from this 54.93 and runs, and this is still up here, then I would anticipate this holding a bit better than the S&Ps and push up. If S&Ps flushes this low and then just continues to carry down, then maybe the next break of the 40 level could give you a good flush. I placed the previous day low down here. Don't. This is the new contract, so we didn't trade it. So I don't like to use these levels too much, but I do have this as a key level for just this, and then I use that as well for that as well. Just so it's not for. I'm going to be able to use these tomorrow and moving forward, but not from the roll, right? Starting to get a heavier delta here at the opening range low. Nothing that's crazy heavy, but you could start to see it ticking down. That's slowing down price. Lots of in-between price action here. You can see S&P's holding that 54.93 level. Microsoft wicking that 442, 442.50. NVIDIA's starting to curl down. You can see that the price is dancing around this level. You can see a lot of time in sales here. I don't like to have it at 1. I usually like to have it at 10. I'll set it, what? I'm going to throw it back up to larger size fills. 7's an interesting number. Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the write up and everything like that, this week is going to be a little bit funky with the price action, right? It is rollover. There's just not going to give you smooth moves. It's not going to give you. I mean, it could easily grind and then snap and flush here, but then, like I said, with rollover and bigger players, it's they're trying to move big contracts, from last week all the way through to the end of the week. Big amount of size from the NQM over to the NQU, which gets a little funky. Pushing back down here through that 40 level that I was talking about. It could be a long, but it could be a short, right? Like that's how this market is right now. I'm not trying to like go crazy. I'm not trying to force it in. I do want to see if this will crack through this overnight low, give us like a healthy push down, and then a failed breakdown, right? And then rotate back up. Yeah, I want to see this flush a little bit again. Maybe get down to that, like I said, down to that 926 3/4 into here. Get flush that on a negative delta divergence, and then I'll try long off of it just because that's the strategy. Not because like I want to see if it sets up right because S&P is trying to push higher. Russell's trying to push higher. NQ trying to push lower. If we can flush 40, it's going to give people the idea that it's going to sell off, trap some shorts, get some people involved, grab some orders down there, and then run up. S&P's holding below VWAP. Microsoft holding that 442 level. NVIDIA selling off 132.14, about to try and break the pre-market low. There it goes. Pre-market low there at 132 even, basically. So looking to crack that. Maybe fill up this gap from the overnight down into 131.50. So there it goes down. NVIDIA selling off. I'm going to wait and see if we get delta divergence. So we made a new low there. Did not make a new low there, but we are starting to get really heavy. That was a nice crack of that overnight low. Let's see. That looked nice. Let's do it. That's really heavy though. So you see Delta still holding up. Price trying to push lower, trying to push lower, trying to push lower. Like I said, with the rollover, this could just fail us and rotate down. With NVIDIA just continuing to go straight down, right down to support previous market. The Friday's post-market low. This might just continue on. I expect 20 to act as support. If it doesn't, then it's going to rotate straight down through. If that goes and cracks, I did mention that potentially 900 and then down to 842. 900, 842. Still holding that delta. Still holding it. Still holding it. Heavy. NQ. ES straight down. There's that crack finally in Delta, and once the Delta cracked, the price continued to follow through. So we are going to cancel this order because that's not going to be anything. So that's why we wait. We be patient. You wait for a close. You know, just hit it and hammer it with the limit order, because then something like this happens, right? When you're trying to fade those levels. So with that being said, we don't have a crazy amount of levels. Let's see. 19907. That was a nice support level right there. There you go. Right, bounce right off of 907. Nvidia could go down into 130. 130 even, down to 129. Could that be a good push back above? Rangy type day. Thinking that with rollover, it could use 900 as support. This definitely seemed like a good area for there to be some sort of action. Now it's heavy. Now it's going 926 and 3/4. Nvidia closed that gap, that overnight little gap, so could bounce from here. Do I want to chase it along? I don't necessarily. However, the market is a perma bull of late, so it could lean to that long side for sure. But I'm not surprised that there is a pullback after it hit that 20,000, right? I thought that 20,000 was going to make some selling pressure come in, and which it did. If you could, I'm going to take off these levels here. You can see that 20,000 level came up, touched just below it, came back, flushed, ripped right through it, then failed it. And then since then, we've just been sell, base, still hold that previous level, come back down, base at the previous day low or the overnight low, and then bang right through our levels. This is actually previous day high, technically, I guess. Just trying to find some levels for us to be using. 889, 888, 895-ish. So this is what I'm watching here. And then you can see the Nvidia selling straight down. Closed this gap pretty easily. It was once it cracked here, that was a nice little flush. Have some support there. And then I said down to 130, probably an interesting level. Microsoft. What? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just don't like the action on this. Delta right back above there, but still price trying to push down. Delta is kind of holding us up. With this deep of a pullback, I would like to see maybe something where we can close above before thinking of give an entry. Yeah, it's a strong delta push to the high side, huh? Alrighty. See if it closes over this level. If it closes over the level, then I'll be interested in taking it long. But we do have 5 minutes till 9, so I am going to hold off. I'm going to let 9 o'clock play out. Do we play a breakdown? I'm waiting. 5 minutes till 9. I don't like to take those trades right before the hourly. I want to see what happens with an hourly close on this. If it's going to hold down below here, then potentially just continues over the next, few hours to the downside, probably down to that 900 even. Not like a deep pullback. If it does break through that, 885. If anybody's seeing any levels, don't be afraid to put it in the chat. I mean, this is pretty clear here. I like the aggressive buying that comes in here. We are holding that lower bottom of VWAP. If we can kind of linger around here but not flush by the hourly close, then maybe we'll look to see what kind of rotation we get through the high. If this is going to act as a breakout or if it's going to act as a just trap for shorts. So just kind of using this contract. This is breaking. Three minutes till hourly close. That's nice that it'll be holding above that. Russell's still pushing upside. S&P's trying to push up a little bit. I do like the long through this, but like I said, my rules are telling me that I can't trade within the 5 minute. Hell yeah, good job. Well done, Jofi. I liked that off the 907. Good job. Well done. Well done, Jofi. That's what we love to see here. My rules keep me out of trades within 9 o'clock, within 5 minutes of an hourly close. I mean, realistically, I could have probably taken this, but I got to stick to my rules, especially on a Monday, especially in these combines that I'm, being a little bit more specific with these trades. This is going to hold below VWAP. If not, rotate right straight to 20K. Yep. Just follow your rules. No FOMO. I liked it. I liked the whole setup. I like the way that Delta was acting here. As soon as we pushed back down, price flushed, but then Delta popped right back above here, giving you an indication that where we were breaking down from, that they're more aggressive buyers. We're going to step in from here, from around that 920 level, right there. You can see it was holding back above here. You were starting to get price to follow through with us. You came back into that level, pulled back, and then once you crack through here, you got enough legs on that to make a little bit of money. So this hourly 30-minute, every minute candle is closing above this overnight low. All right, so we are now closed above. Maybe we get a pull back into that overnight low, and then we'll bounce. Let's see. If not, a nice little flush could come in as well. So the hour has now closed. Bigger size came in at 51. Yeah, 51 came in a few 10 lots, 14, 13, 11, 14. See if this will push down. Microsoft creeping up. Not a ton going on for me. Just trying to see what we got going on. This is the VWAP acting as resistance. Microsoft curling up. $9.46. Breakdown point. Sorry, it's rollover. Not a ton of news, not a ton of information. So you're going to get this kind of price action where it's not clear to give you those entries, and especially at the right timing, right? That's what we're all about here, is trying to get good timing. If I can get through that overnight low again and then fail it one more time, then that rotation back higher. Maybe just like I said, rotational. I want to see what the NQM is doing. Still doing the same sort of price action, it's just in different price points. Nothing doing here. Nothing doing. I would like it down there below that overnight low again. Give me an opportunity down here. you know, a breakout of this little downtrend, pull back, retest that downtrend, then try to rotate back up. That'd be nice. Right? Come back down here into this area again, retest this trend, retest the lower band of VWAP, come back down below opening range, overnight lows, holding below opening range, get the delta kind of get heavy. Looks like that's what wants to happen. You know, pull back into here, then trying to get long back through that. But S&P looks like it's trying to pour up. Trying to keep myself from hammering into buttons here because I don't have my A plus strategy here on a rollover day on Monday. You know, new week. I'm trying to be more patient, trying to get myself back into good habits of letting these setups just scream at you, say, "Hey, you got to take this trade," right? But you know, realistically, there's not a ton of that. So now trying to push above and hold above VWAP. See if it rotates up. 19707. So that would be really around that 706. Probably more around that 70 area in this chart. 73. Yeah, I would like it down here. Opening range high. Russell pulling down. Yeah, I think that this area gets held if it gets down into here, and that creates a higher low, but also kind of pulls back, retest, breaks the people who have been long since here. Rotate back down, get some people involved in that, and then start to push back up. That's kind of where I'm looking at. $960 is just lingering here. Yeah. Overall, not a ton of movement, not a ton of volume. You can see lower volume here. This is not like a crazy volume. Let me see. Super low volume yesterday, which is Friday. Now you're starting to step up in volume, but still nothing crazy in the volume with the roll. Just trying to kind of give a perspective of what is this is almost like a pre-FOMC, just some sort of like pre-news, lower volume type of selling. Apologize. Microsoft pushing up, Nvidia pushing down. So diverging there. Apple, rocket ship up over 215. Apple breaking Friday's high. So if you are long Apple through those highs, Apple has resistance at 216.80, and then up overhead 218 and 220.20. So Apple looking to start grabbing some bullishness, which means Nvidia is selling off, right? They're inversely correlated for some reason, which is good for you to know. Tilt is 55% short. S&P is pushing straight up. Back directly within opening range. Russell's trying to push down through the opening range low, but grab some liquidity there at 2021. S&P is pushing up stronger than the NQ, right? All right, so now we're starting to crack up overview up. Liquidity is starting to push up. Yeah, not a lot of good information for me here. I think potentially the long was this entry right here, right then. It was, I got kept out of it because of my timing of not entering within an hour, within a 5 minute of an hourly close. I like to see kind of what goes on with that candle on that 5, on that hourly, on that 30 minute, right? That's what I want to see. If we get up into that 20,000 and change, I would like to see that be my short entry. I think that's where you start to see people unload. But yeah, this was the long. Obviously, you could see that on the delta here, right? This is where I started to see that long. This is where Jofi took his long from the bottom, right? You started to see that push down. Delta didn't quite follow through. As soon as the price started to tick back that way towards the long side, you could see Delta immediately popped up. A lot of aggressive buyers opposed to the aggressive sellers. So we are pushing here. Finally get through the overnight low, which this is technically not right. I think it's close, but right. So we get back over this. You start to rotate back up. I mean, you're still in a really good shape here. Delta not quite showing you that it's time to sell, but it's starting to get a little bit heavy. I mean, if you took that there, you're up a nice $900 per contract. This is a drifty day. I guess it. I kind of felt that this was gonna go up. I was gonna risk this. To low here. Whole lot of nothing going on for you. I'm trying my best here on the stream to give you some information to be useful, but for the most part, right? Like there's not a ton of things for me to go over, right? There's lower volume. You got rollover. You got triple witching on Friday. You got Juneteenth Wednesday. There's a lot of trading this week potentially. I mean, this definitely seemed like the trade right there, right? Came the exact overnight low came in here. This would have been nice to take that long right off that jump. But like I said, I'm trying to stick to my rules, show you, sticking to my plan, doing my best to not just FOMO in and out to trade. So that's, I mean, it's the setup. Everything is there except for my timing, and that's just, I gotta stick to the rules there. So no trades, no executions. This is just. Sorry. Not a lot. Not a lot for me to do. Could roll all the way to 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock and still got no trades going on. We're just going to be patient. We're going to wait for this maybe overnight high to come into play, or if we get back around this overnight low again, see if we're going to get a bounce from here this time again. If you're interested in GameStop's at $28.35, right dead center of this range that it's been in for the last 3 days or so. AMC's at $5. Microsoft looking to try and break back above highs from Friday. Just right around there, lingering around those highs. NVIDIA starting to curl up as well. Not like a heavy curl, just kind of lingering here at 131.85, 131, 132-ish, right there at that level. Still just going to see if this will break this. This probably just cracks here and gives you another move up. Momentum traders, maybe that's what they're looking to take the break of 80. I'm not that kind of trader. I'm just kind of drawing lines on here to show you that is a good little breakout there. See if it continues or fails. Looks like a nice delta push right up over that value area high. Yeah, that was a nice little pop. Never really took any heat on it. 78 straight up to 84. Now it's going to start to melt off. Could this be the sell point? You've got a lot of congestion here from the overnight. 86. Tired Mondays. It's my Friday at work. It's my Monday here. I think this is going to start to rotate downside some. Maybe, like I said, if we can get down into here, then I'll start to be interested again in that long idea. I do think we're going to kind of have a grindy way. Trying to develop a plan for this. You can see like the NASDAQ usually doesn't move this slowly. You're not usually getting this kind of tight of a range. Heavier shorts coming in. NVIDIA's slightly heavier. Delta, you can see the aggressive sellers pushed right into the top of this opening range. There's a little pop down of the opening range. I'll take a look at some of these other things that we can possibly trade. Oil. Gold. Try and think of some of the other contracts that we could trade. But I can't trade coffee yet. They're giving away Stetsons if you can pass a combine with just lean hogs. So that's an interesting thing here. You think lean hogs is going to get expensive? I can't be trading that right now. Nice and quiet day. Let's see. Let's see. Can we get that price to push down into our levels, right? This area right here. And then rotate back in. If it's going to be rotational, maybe we rotate from this 80 to 20. 80 to 20, 80 to 20, 80 to 20. If it comes into this 20, there's 19,000, 910, 900. If it comes up into 20,000, maybe we rotate down. We'll see. I got nothing for you today. Nothing. Sorry. I got nothing for you guys. If you see price action looking like this on the NQ, that ain't really tradable, right? So if you're like Jofi and you made some money, you passed the combine, take the rest of the day and enjoy it. Be happy about the day. That is some tight price action. Low volume. Nvidia rolling downside. Looking still to crack through the lows. Yeah, nothing that I'm really interested in right this second. I gotta get near my levels. Like this was it right here. So that would have been nice. I'm gonna give it that entry there. I'm gonna wait for something up here and or something around this area here. Let's see. So now you got heavy delta pushing down and price not playing along, right? Yeah, it's tough, right? Definitely tough, dude. Definitely tough, man. It's a brutal type day. There's that sell off from 67. I would like this to, I mean, maybe now not get all the way down into here, but to into this range here, that 19,920. You can see S&Ps is rolling, NQ is rolling, but relatively, I mean, it is below the opening range low. So the S&Ps is still on the opening range high. So I'm drawing these arrows to kind of show you where I'm interested. This would create a higher low. Need this to be deeper. It needs to be into this 19,010, 19,020 Is it going to buy off of here and go? Then great, good for it. I just didn't have it. This clearly looked like a nice short, but I'm not taking that either. Here's your another. Now here's that overhead, right? This is basically all today is find these short little trend lines, play the cracks, and then rotate it, and then just take your money, take your money, take your money. Nothing to do here for me. So here's also another type of longer term delta divergence that you're looking at, right? So you make a lower here, delta makes a low, price makes that new high, delta makes new high, price makes a higher low, delta makes a lower low, right? We're still in a downtrend in delta. Aggressive sellers are stepping in more than aggressive buyers, but price is going to the upside. So if one of these things breaks and starts to squeeze, then potentially then you get the rotation the other way. 9:30. 9:30. Like I said, I'm trying to be entertaining here with the NQ, or give you some information that you could use and be useful. Right now, it's just a slow grinding rollover type Monday on like another holiday this week. Days off, people coming in and out. There's not every participant in here. The NQU is what we're rolling into. The NQM still probably has a good amount of volume in it. So we're really in split volume right now, because the bigger players are trying to get out of the positions in the M and roll into the U. So that was a nice little bounce from 9:30. Right to view on. Two times of it holding that level. Is this going to be a lower high now, or are we going to start to just wedge? All right, give me 1 second. I got to run real quick and do something. I'll be right back. That long there from that 30 level was spot on. I really wanted to try and get that to go, but I wanted it to get a little bit deeper in. So we're going to watch that 2012. Also the 80. Let me see if I can find it on here. NQ1. 8250 has been pretty important too. So 8250. Look at that. I'll call this actually. Let's do it as a zone. We'll do it here. 87 to 90. I don't like this. It's not necessary. Just trying to adjust, see what's going on as the day goes. We have no trades as of yet. I did like this one here. I was within 5 minutes of an hourly close, so I couldn't execute on that one, but that was really the best trade that I could have executed there. Overnight low here, bounce. I wanted this to be a little bit deeper, just kind of based on the previous price action, but that was a really nice bounce from overnight low. So if we can get above 82, maybe we can see. Nvidia pushing up. Nope. Wick the low at 129.50-ish. Pushing up to 131. Just Nvidia just loves to hold and go in the upside direction. So let's see what happens with this. It did just crack this minor down, this uptrend that it's had. So maybe there is some correction still for Nvidia down through 129.60-ish, so maybe that'll help this go. I would like it to get all the way up to overnight high, but if I can get some delta information out of the, break above this purple box, I think that would be an interesting short idea as well, just based on the range type of day we have. Just kind of front running this is with this short there. That's not great for me. I think one more move upside will give it to you. If it's not going to give it to me, it's not going to give it to me, right? But it's Delta once again trying to push down deeper than price while price is trying to push up. So this here as well. Bang. I got nothing for me to do at the moment, but like I said, I want to see this get up over that 90, maybe right into that 88, 90 area. Give me some sort of delta push to the downside. Then look to see maybe NVIDIA start to continue to sell, and that would be a nice area for some liquidity. If it pushed up to 20,000, that'd be even better for me. 86 to 20,000. That's something where I would like to see it. I want to see this. In that area. I am waiting for this, waiting for it. If it gives me something that's going to say, hey, we should probably short this, then that's what I'm going to do. Want that 82 to 86, maybe even to the 20,000. Really that area there. Something around this area here. There's not a ton of big orders. I got a couple here. 70, there was a 16 lot. 70, another 16 lot. 71. I mean, it seems like they're just washing those. 70, 30, 32, 67, 66. You're hitting the ass. Got decent size. 10 lots, 9 lots. There's more lot size coming in there. A good amount of orders have been executed up here in the thousands. This is, I'm going to guess the point of control is right where we're at. Yeah. If you can stay patient, you can do this. If you can't, then you're going to start hammering into things that aren't necessarily my thing is, if you're hammering into stuff right here in the middle around VWAP, I mean, the only places I saw entries were these two white arrows here. That entry right there was the best one. Obviously, this one is still working out. I liked this because of everything about my strategy pretty much told me this is the long, except for the timing of it. I needed to wait a few more minutes, right? This was at 50 cents. I needed to wait 3 more minutes before trying to take this long. And then once it's up already into VWAP, I'm not taking it. Then this one I was interested in. I just wanted to get a little bit deeper into here. I didn't want to just V-bottom it, but that was a really good support. It's just going to tell me a little bit more information about the next time it comes into this level as well, to maybe start to look for the same type of, move off of that level. If it's going to just stay range bound, if it's going to be one of those types of days, then that's what I want to look for in there. I don't think I'm going to take it along right off that, area, right? Maybe even look to see if it's going to short break and go through that level. 30 points down to 19.9 is not a terrible move through that overnight low if it gives up this time. But I don't know if it's gonna. It's been just kind of lingering around this opening range high for the most part the whole day. Right, the opening range high is right here. S&P is trying to break highs of the day with Delta giving you lower Delta. Russell's still on the lows. NVIDIA is still down right around that 131. Microsoft trying to push downside a little bit. It's accepted into the range. of yesterday on Friday, I should say, on Friday's range. No. If you're staying out of the markets, that's good. If you made money today, like Jofi early, and you passed the combine, like I said, just go walk away. There's nothing to this market. If this is how NQ is going to be reacting, S&Ps, the Nasdaq's acting like the S&Ps right now. To be honest with you, slow, methodical, not a ton of really great information. My internet's probably lagging at this point. That's what it feels like. I wouldn't even be able to tell because the price is just moving so slowly. I am getting a little bit of choppiness. Might have to reset. There we go. Yeah, this is very, very slow grinding. This is like an overnight session. Let's see if we can get up over that 19.9. He's see nothing. Trying my best here for you people. This is just watching nothing happen. Understanding that sitting on your hands is still better than losing money, right? As I mentioned, the S&Ps was trying to make new highs on diminishing delta, so I think maybe a rotation down does happen a little bit, but I would like it to have been up higher first. Delta getting heavy again. Is this going to crack this? This should be a nice little support area. If it's going to bounce or crack, we're going to watch. was interesting. Very supportive right there. If you say that trend lines don't work, man, I got something for you here. It's so reactive on these areas. If it cracks, it could rotate, like I said, down to 36, down into 30 even. Start looking at that long from there potentially. But if it's starting to get really, really heavy, still diminishing delta, price trying to push, trying to push, trying to push. If delta cracks here, then you maybe get that rotate down. Whole lot of sideways for me. I do love these sideways actions if we could get them to give us a little bit deeper of a pullback through these levels. But if you got nothing, you got nothing, right? Oh, God. Oh, it's putting me to sleep here, this market right now. This is why I don't trade my XFA on a day like today. Definitely not trading it on today. Maybe this a little later on this week, but not right now. Good little delta bounce. Price bounced right off that trend line. Pretty clear as day right there. This is the opening range right there. So right dead center of opening range, right on VWAP. Like there's no directionality to this. There's nothing telling you, hey, I need to go one way or the other. If you decide to get up over this, it's probably a failed breakout. That's why I would like to short that 900 level. Like I said, I want to see it crack that high and then maybe just kind of falter and just continue to grind down. I mean, that's the kind of trade that might become. And it's going to come in right around that 10 o'clock mark where I can't necessarily act on it. The bounce off of this trend line giving you, a nice 88 ticks for the bounce off that support. If it gives it up, I think still with the S&P's delta creeping downside and price continuously making new highs, that potentially that the sellers do step in at some point here. NQ also, it's sideways delta, price trying, but sideways price action, right? Oh, I hate when I do that. I hit the X. Anybody looking at any levels, you let me know. We are out here. It's just about 10 o'clock here, Central Time. Haven't made any trades. Just kind of sitting here, lingering around, watching this paint dry. Price had two opportunities where I thought we could bounce or get good longs. The first one was this one here, where I definitely was interested, and I couldn't execute because of the timing of it. Right, I was within 5 minutes of an hourly close, and I like to wait on that, so didn't take it. It happened at 3 minutes to hourly close. Here, it just was a V bottom. Wasn't really anything that gave me an indication that it's time to bounce, but it did. And then now we're looking to see if we can short from a failure of this 82 to 90. I would like it to get up even closer to 20,000 and then fail it and rotate down. And then I could get that short in and just try and play the rotation again. Right? But if we're not going to get it, right, we're on the top end of this trend line here. I would like this to pop up into that upper band of VWAP. But then, who knows how high it goes at that point. Absolutely, Ray. That's smart. Okay, this one closes in 1 minute. If we can get up over that level, 64% long in the tilt. Maybe if we get up over that 80, then you get into that 70, 80% tilt, and then you can look to get that short. I would like to short the 82.50 level. Get up over that 82. All right, so now it's 10 o'clock. I can now start to execute. Let's see if we can get up over that 90. I wanted to over that purple zone. I want to kind of like give those longs a reason to get in here, but you could see price trying to go. If 82.50 gives up without giving me an opportunity, then so be it, right? Okay, so let's get up over that. There we go. I want to get it up there a little bit longer. There we go. That's nice. All right, so now we're going to push up probably into the 20,000. If this is going to squeeze a little bit, then we can get ourselves a delta divergence here. Come on now. Tick off on that upper end of VWAP. I want to short it through 82 down to VWAP. At least. If it gets me in and we get stopped out, at least I had this plan to come in here. Like I said, 82.50 is going to be my level of interest, up to 86. So let's see if we could fail this breakout. I think 5509 on the S&Ps, this yellow line, if that comes in and rejects, then we're going to probably reject the NQs first. I mean, after, right after that. So let's see. 87s. Up to that 20,000. Here we go. Here we go for 20,000. 20,000. Can I get 20,000? 20,000. 20,000. We're 5 points off of 20,000. That seems like it wants to get tagged. Based on the rotational type day, based on some of the other stuff, Microsoft is curling up. Nvidia is still on the lows. I'm gonna stick with this short idea here through 82 on the rotational type day. Starting to wedge. Get that S&P up to that 5509 and then fail it like right off of it. That would be beautiful. Get up. Get up. $55.09. If that gets tagged, then we're gonna look to see if this will fail. $82.50. If it's gonna continue grinding up, then it is what it is, right? We can't be mad at it. You know, decent delta push, but not crazy. I do want 20,000. S&P still doesn't have good delta on this push up higher. So I am going to be expecting that 59.09 to fail. 59.09. Let's see if this will fail. Let's see if it'll go. Get to 59.09.50. If I get triggered in, then we should flush kind of quickly. A little chilly in here. There's push to 20,000. All right, there's 20,000. 20,000 broke. And then 59.09, 55.09.50 just got tagged. That was a really strong push. S&P's now finally getting some delta to push up. Russell pushing up. I'm hard pressed to short at 20,000. It could be one of those blue sky breakouts. All right, 69% long. Let's do that. 2020, 12. Is it going to fail it? Is it going to fail it? It's the overnight high. All-time high. I want one more push up. 5509.50 got tagged. It's kind of holding. One more push up. Give me some sort of rising wedge up in that range. This 20,000 break. What's up, Joe? That was a really nice bounce off this trend line here that we had. Break of this wedge. I have taken 0 trades. Nothing has interested me. I was interested in a short if it failed below this. But now that we've cracked it, I'm kind of concerned that it's just going to continue its rally onto the upside and slow grind and push and push and push. If I do get some sort of delta divergence or like a super heavy tilt to the long side through this overnight high, I'll look to see if I can break back down below it. I like that as a short, but I don't trust it wholeheartedly, right? We can see what happens through here. I mean, Delta's still trying to be strong. 20,000 is going to hold here. I mean, you didn't need to. You passed an account. You had a good day trading so far. There hasn't been really great opportunities. It bounced off a few of my good levels too, right? This is my level here. And these 2 spots is where I was interested in trades. Didn't take this one because of the timing. Didn't take this one because of the confluence. And now I'm interested in this one here, but I need it to give me more of a reason to short this. I don't trust the blue sky breakouts of all-time highs trying to get run over. If it shorts and melts off from here, fine. But I will look to get short through 82.50 more so. If that's somewhere down below here, I was interested short. So if it just melts off, then I'll watch to see what happens. If it gives me some sort of basing pattern, I'll play the continuation. If we can get a nice little push up, into 2020, 2020, 20,020, there's the actual number, up into there, and then it starts to rotate and fail this level, then maybe that's when I'm going to be interested in that short. But this is going to give me some strong vibes here. I want one more pop of this level here. S&P's 5509 S&P number. That's going to fail it. So there's that level breaking, as I mentioned, 5509, trying to act as that resistance on the overhead for the S&Ps. If that acts as resistance and starts to sell off, then this is going to also sell off. I like that. $20,000 failing. Possibly missed it. I'm okay with missing it. I didn't get the full divergence, and I also wanted this to reject faster. Usually that 55, like the overnight levels on the S&Ps will reject quickly. Yeah, I wanted to see it give one more little pop. It's been kind of just catching levels and bouncing, right? So here, bounce, bounce, rejection. So obviously our levels are clear as day, right? Working 19,930 and 20,012.75. Like I said, I'm not in a rush to really just hammer into things. If I'm going to sit here all day and not take a trade, it is what it is. I do like the short below 19,982.50. That is the accepted range, right? So this is where the range was. This is like the extension out. Oh, we're gonna get long and then a rotate back down into it. So I do like that. But now it's pushing back up. So let's see. Get back up to 12, 20,012. This will be, if this could make new highs, you could see Delta not really pushing up as high, so it could give us our entry with the Delta divergence if we get up over that. If this just rockets, the S&P rockets through its high, then this overnight high, 20,000 level is probably going to just not be useful. It's probably going to burn right through it. NVIDIA is still holding 131. Microsoft pushing up to the high end. S&P's delta has been kind of beat down a little bit, and now as we're approaching that level again, it's starting to creep up stronger than it was prior. Oh, it's okay, no worries. Took you a little bit. Do you have my sweatshirt, please? The white one. Yeah, I was waiting for that too. Still waiting. Let it get up there. Yeah, everybody wants to go short, and that's the question. That's the problem. I feel like this S&P delta is interesting to me. Let's see what happens here with this delta. All right, now we got our caffeine. Now we can make some better decisions. This is concerning for this to fail, right? I don't feel like this is... The crack of this could give you some... I don't know where it goes from here, to be honest. All right. Sweatshirt time. If you're over on YouTube, click like, hit subscribe. Let me know how we are doing over there. If you're on Tradecaster, keep coming. Keep talking. Let me know what you got as far as levels. We do have a delta divergence. Look at that. Nice pop. It's a little chilly in my office here. The air conditioning is blowing. I want this all the way up through 20, and then I would need to see it fail. But, yeah, it doesn't look great. Oh, yeah. It's a good day for that. You should let me know how it is. Let me know how you like it. I think that we're going to get this possible push up through here. It seems squeezy because of the 5509 level giving you that push on the on the S&Ps. Then the delta on the S&Ps is now starting to creep up, so you are getting more aggressive buyers. I don't know, same with the delta here on the NQ. We did get a nice aggressive buyer up there, but based on the range bound type day, do we try and just take this and shoot shot at it? Oh, you're going good. You're about to level up, dude. I love it. Microsoft just broke high of the day. So Microsoft breaking high of day also doesn't really help us here on the short idea. NVIDIA has been lingering around the lows, but now it's starting to creep back up. If NVIDIA gets over 131.50, possibly continues to push us up, then you probably just watch this thing go on up. I want to keep Microsoft up because I feel like that's going to indicate if I'm going to get a failure of the breakout or not. No. I want to take this short. I'm really interested in the short, but with this delta being stronger, I mean, you could come in hot and just sell off, but Russell also just reaccepted back into opening range low. This is going to be interesting. I could take a cheap short here on one contract and then add another. Or just take the two and go. I'll take the short through here. Let's see what happens with that. Let's see what happens with it. Give it a shot. Based on the rotational type day. I wanted to get up over 20. I didn't get to 20 quite yet. Any sort of aggressive delta, nothing crazy, nothing huge on the size. Didn't get triggered yet. Let's see if it starts to go. If this starts to pull back and this makes new high, then I would be convinced that this tries to pull back some more. Microsoft is on a moon mission now. So Delta is flattening, which is nice for this idea. If we could start to get a curl in Delta, maybe we'll get at least this kind of pullback here. You know, a couple $100 per contract. I am selling two contracts. If it gets through this 2010 to 20,010, I just want to see if it'll kind of crack it and give it a really hard flush. And I don't want it to dance around. So if I get triggered, I want it to be in the money pretty quickly, and then see what happens at 20,000. All right, so we are triggered. We're gonna risk to the high. See what happens on these combines. Gonna be short here. I like it. Not sold completely, but it is my setup, so I gotta take it. Accept the risk and then take the chance. Delta's getting heavier, so let's see if it should go. It's not going quick enough. Not going quick enough. Fighting the strength here. That's my favorite thing to do in this world, apparently. Okay, there we go. A little bit of heaviness. Get that delta to push down 2. Come on, get heavy. Let's get heavy. Maybe if we run the sirens, it'll go. We'll run the sirens here. Oh, bang, bang. Let's see what happens. Nope. Siren. He doesn't like the sirens. Let's see. Let's get this thing going short. This is my first trade of the day. Probably my only trade of the day if it doesn't go anywhere. This lack of follow through to the downside giving me some standoffishness. I imagine that there's probably going to be a wick of 20 and then a flush. So it'll probably stop me out and then run down based on the way price is not just going right away. But I bought the ticket. I'm going to take the ride. I set my risk. It is what it is. We're going to see what happens with this. I want to see if it'll push down into 20,000 again. It'll give me at least the ability to get to break even. Some decent size buying at 15. The lack of push though also gives me the thought that it's going to flush, right? Because you're over this level, you would expect a bigger buyer to kind of snap it up. So we should get heavy kind of quick. Not really doing anything though, right? It's just doing nothing. I want this move here, this same style move down to 20,000. If we can get a good break of it this time, I'm gonna go ahead and move to even, and then I'm gonna see where I could trail it out, right? Get down, get down, get down. Come on now, get heavy. You know you want to. Delta's starting to creep, The upper band of VWAP is holding us as support. That's my only other issue there. I am going to cut this if it does pop above here, because if I think it gets over there, it's going to get over 20, and I don't want to be involved. So if it's going to not go here right now, then it's probably going to give me a squeeze. You can see S&P's trying to do the same thing, trying to push up higher. So with S&P's trying to push highs, I don't want this to go. And Microsoft also going higher. I want this to get cut. I don't want to risk more than that. Feels like it's going to squeeze on me. This S&P not helping me out. So it's probably going to stop me out here and then do whatever it's going to do. I'm going to wait for the next turnaround. So yeah, we'd stop there. We took a less than full loss, which is nice. I'm okay with that. I feel like if it was going to do that, it was going to go kind of quickly. I did not want to, yeah. I got out. No, you're good. It's all good. My risk to reward on this percentage move, really, I'm not really concerned about in NQ. I really look for points. Most of the time, I'm looking to catch at least 10 points on a move. 10 points, give or take. And then I want it to happen very quickly. With my strategy, it's all about seeing things happen very fast. So with futures as opposed to like equities, there we go. That's actually, I'm going to take one more shot at it here. Take one more shot at it. See if it'll go this time. So I'm looking to see if it'll break through levels. I look for selling pressure in Delta. So percentage-wise, it's hard to say, you know, like an exact percentage. I'm looking more for points. I know people talk in percentages a lot, but I'm looking for point moves in the equities contracts. So if I can get down through and get down to like that 20,000, that's a psychological level. It's an area where a lot of reaction is going to happen. So maybe I'll probably just take one contract off just north of 20,000 and then look to see if I can get the rest to run downside so I can get more profit out of it. That's what I'm looking for on these kinds of moves. That kind of failure usually would lead to a good failure right away. So I'm going to be at break even. So if it does pop on me, I'm not losing anything. I'm at break even right now for that move, right? So I'm actually going to get up above that. So if we can get down to 20,000, so hard to get to those huge numbers, 20,000, right? I want this to come into that psychological level. And then if it breaks through 20,000, I'm going to guess that we do give a good flush. I just want to make sure if we do get there and we support on that level that we get at least one off. But it's going to get it stop us out here probably. Yep, there we are. Bang. With this kind of heavy flush, I want it to happen very quickly. I don't want to be involved on a flush grab of liquidity and run. So that's my issue there. If it comes back again, I'm going to try it one more time, and then that'll probably be that. I want to get it up over 20. Hit 20 even. Yeah, I got a couple shots at it. It'll go now. I'm watching some of these. Microsoft is selling. I don't like the way the S&Ps are acting. That's really kind of keeping me from taking this as a hold. Yeah, I don't like this short tilt. On one contract, so how it works with futures, the NASDAQ is $5 per tick, $20 per point. So if you go 10 points, it's $200 per contract. So it's all contract based. There's break it. Giving myself a shitty location on this. I chased this one. That was probably dumb. But if we're going to take it, we're going to take it. Chasing the short. That was not smart. So I'm going to take a pause after this because the FOMO trades. So there's fees also. If you go short, let's call it with the NQ, it depends on your brokerage, all the fees and stuff. So these fees on here aren't crazy. Round trip, you're looking at $2.80-ish, give or take, depending on what you got. So like I said, if you take this short and you go 10 points and you got per contract, one contract on, then one contract every 10 points is $200. So, if you have 2, 3, 4 contracts on, do the math on that. But also a lot of times I'm looking for a little bit more than 10 points. 10 points is usually like just a good round number, first area that's a target for me. So we are still like in that area where I am interested in this. Microsoft got heavy. Let's see what NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA is curling a little bit. If I can get back up into this range here, then possibly look to get it. Yeah, I don't like that. Not at all. Delta's still flat, so this could give us that. If we crack this high, that 2020. Later, Jofi. I'll see you. Good job today. All right. I will take another shot if it does fail it on this time. I just want to see more of a whippy action up top. Give me like a wick off high. So you could see Delta, these sellers are coming in. The aggressive sellers are trying to push this down. Buyers are trying to push it up. You're not getting that good follow through on a breakout of an all-time high level. So that usually gives me the sense that I'll take a couple shots at it. And if it fails, it fails. It is what it is. So these were the two I really should have been able to take. Did not enter into those. I tried this one here. I think this is definitely looking to fail it, but I don't know how long it's going to take to fail it, right? Is it going to push all the way up? It could, like I said, could be a very grindy type action, right? So this is actually, I'm trading on funded accounts. This is called Top Step. They are a funding company. So you go through the challenges. Right now I'm trading the challenges. I have a funded account. If you look here, it's the gold. It's a funded account. In these shitty market conditions, I'm trying to just maximize my funding. So if you want to learn how to do it or what their stuff is, let me get the link. The link is actually, I think, in this the YouTube description. If you click that link, it'll send you over to Top Steps website. The 50K accounts are like $50 or whatever per account. If you're trading on your own personal margin, my personal account, if it's $1,000 per mini, which is a full contract. So if you wanted to trade 2 contracts, you would have to have $2,000 in the account for the orders to execute. You would definitely want more, but that's the kind of leverage that they'll offer you within the futures world. A lot of times it's $100 per micro, which is 1/10 of a full mini, and then it's $1,000 usually. That's kind of the standard practice lately per contract, per full contract. If this is going to be rotational, I think down to VWAP is where I want to take it. I am triggered short again. It's probably the last time I'm going to be able to take it. So you do have a daily loss limit in these accounts of $1,000 in the 50K. I prefer, when I have my XFAs, when I'm trading my funded accounts, I'm only looking to have a max daily loss limit of about 500 of my own personal mental stop. So I try to stop myself from burning out of these accounts. So this is a good trade, good idea here. I am going to let it take its ride. Although, let's see if we can break down of this. S&P wanting to push down into that 5509. Delta getting heavier. I want to get down to 20,000. That's my round number, big psychological level where there's going to be orders. I want to get that before I get to even. I'm seeing if this will play. Sell side. So there's $200 move, right? There's 5 points. I'm quick to even on a lot of my trades. That's just kind of how I am. That's how I trade, because I think a lot of people don't agree with that, but it does work for me when I'm in the correct rhythm. Trying to get this to get flushed, but if it doesn't want to flush quickly, then it's usually going to give me an explosive move to the high side and stop me out anyway with the NASDAQ, right? I want this to get through down to 20,000 so I can start the trailing, but god damn, just doesn't want to break this level, right? I want to let this thing ride. I don't want to go to even on that. That's bullshit. Come on now. All right. I didn't want to get wicked on that, so now I'm going to go in here and leave it there. If it breaks this time, then we're out. Then we'll start the trail. If it can break down to 20,000, it seems like it's the right timing. You got this support here. If 5509 gives up, then bang, downside. If it supports here, then we're going to rip this NQ up to the upside. So this is all based on the S&P's level here. This 5509. 5509 gives up. We should be flushing that 20,000. I'm going to get stopped out here for $40. There we go. You see the bounce on the S&Ps from 5509. This now looks like it wants to push up and rock it out. So that's why I take that break even quick, because you can see how that just absolutely starts to rally, right? So you can see the price action rallying off of those levels. Gotta wait for this 5509 to break. I almost want to take the short on the on the S&Ps, because it's a little cleaner. Nvidia's still rolling. It's amazing how strong that was. I've been just messing with this level a bit too much. Look at how sideways that is. Scott, let me know if you click off on the link to Top Step. If not, I'll grab it for you. Let me see if I can find it quick. Here's that link. Oh, you got it? Okay. I'll put it in here anyway because I got it. If anybody wants to grab some combines, there you have it. I got you. No worries. I could explain it more, moving forward if you have questions about it. Yeah, futures is definitely something different. No, that's why I stream. I like to do it because it helps people out. It helps people understand like kind of what's going on with everything. If I, didn't want to help, I wouldn't be streaming. So, futures is very different world compared to stocks, options, forex, any of those things. It's slightly different. Trading is trading, so structure is the same. A lot of that kind of stuff is the same. Every instrument is slightly different. So S&Ps is a little slower than the Nasdaq, which it's just going to be a learning curve for you to figure out what fits your personality the best with your trading. I think a lot of S&P people, starting in S&P is the smartest move. It's slower. You can kind of see moves a little bit better. Support levels hold a little bit better, it seems. I think really you just need to just take your time with it. Depending on what you've traded in the past is really definitely different. Probably could have never got stopped out on this first trade, but I like to be right quick. Based on like these kind of moves here, you could see how they're not what we have going on up here. I think we're going to start to get a fade though. Get back above there. Hey, that's cool if you rolled it into something that's worthwhile. Yeah, so crypto trading is tougher than I'd say, like, as far as this is concerned. Like, this is really just straight structured. Crypto trading stuff is more like you got to be really into what's moving, what's not moving, all that stuff. The reason I switched to futures from equities and from FX is because I basically could just watch one thing at a time. I don't have to go searching for what stock is hot, what's going on. I do like trading equities, so I do have a plan on eventually going back to them when I have the chance. But start by just watching these charts, picking the Nasdaq, picking the S&Ps, just watching it, see what happens, and then go from there. Just every day, learn a little bit, understanding what kind of movements are going. I think that this gets to be heavy, but it just doesn't want to give it up. Give it up, man. I got 15 more minutes left in the stream. I want to be able to finish this off with the correct trade of the day. Delta pushing up stronger. I think possibly gets up over this high, but Russell's kind of creeping down to support, which is 2017. There's nothing going on here. Rollover always gets me, seemingly. So rollover contracts. So futures trade in contracts. Equities futures trade in quarterly contracts, right? And they settle in cash. So this week is going to be the large players rolling their big orders and their big positions from the June expiration into September. So this is why this is a little bit of a weird price action. I could try and play the long off this, but I think S&P's still trying to push up. Now Delta's steady pushing, aggressive buyers stepping in here at 2020. Maybe that'll give us a little bit of a pop. Takes one day at a time of learning this. Obviously, you know, you lose money some days, you win some days, and as long as you make more than you lose over the long run, that's how you stay profitable in this game, right? I took a couple shots at this. I'll probably take one more shot. Like I said, this is these are combines. I'm trying to maximize my funding. My funded account is still safe and ready to go, but I'm trying to see how much funding I can get by the end of June. I'll look to sell to below 11 and let it do its thing. A little bit of speeding up in the price action. I'm watching the S&Ps as my leading indicator here. If S&Ps can start to push down, I'll feel comfortable in leaving this. If S&P starts to pop over and push into the highs, then I do not feel comfortable leaving it. Really, I wanted it to stay below that 20 level. That is a pop. Oop, let's get down below 12. Strong delta. Oh, wow. That was very whippy. Maybe that was a liquidity grab right there. If it wasn't, then we were going to get ripped our face off in a second. Yeah, healthy economy, that's for sure. It's a divergence in reality is what it is. Don't get me started. I think these all-time highs crack. Delta still popping up. Price not wanting to follow through. That's my other divergence that I take. Oh yeah, absolutely. I like the the credit you gave to Michael Scott. That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, so this is going to go ahead and make our last trade of the day. Good try. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We gave it our shot, and there's 20. And we're going to get stopped on this. There it is. Down 8. So be it. This is going to be a squeeze probably now. Push up to the high side. Yeah, that's going to be a mess. No, I'm trading my evals. I'm not trading my funded. On rollover, I'm not going to trade my funded account at all. I'm not even going to even click over to it. Rollover is irrational. There's definitely no levels to be played. The two trades I really wanted to take were here and didn't take them. This one was my my time restriction. I usually don't trade within 5 minutes of the hour, and that was that trade there. This overnight low bounce. I wanted this, but I wanted it a little bit lower, and then obviously that would have been the trade of the day. Obviously pushing up into there, wouldn't have had to mess with this. We still got one more shot at this. If it wants to go, I'll give it a shot, but that's just maybe a liquidity grab over the high, and you give this one last stop sell below here, and then call it a day on the evals. Wouldn't be mad at it. Wick off high. There you go. The heaviness is coming in. See if it'll get through this level or not. S&Ps, however, are getting aggressive buyers pushing up. So that's enough as far as Delta is concerned. Obviously, the price is doing what it's doing. It's been my leading indicator for the day is the S&Ps. Yeah, profit trader, definitely just evals during rollover. Pretty much for the whole month of June, I'm looking to just try and maximize funding. I got my one funded account. I've been a little bit aggressive on these combines on days that maybe I shouldn't. Even today, not a terrible idea on any of these trades. I'm just hammering a level that doesn't want to give up, right? If it wants to give up now, it'll give up. If not, it's just going to stop me out. Should be a good trade. If not, it is what it is, right? It's just a combine, just trying to maximize the funding. I'm willing to risk it for this account. Funded accounts, not even touching it. That's my risk management on the funded account is just not touching it, not trading it, right? If this gives up, I would like to even stop more on here. All right, there it is, flat. It popped, stopped us out. So we did lose the full max daily drawdown on this eval. Like I said, this is not really the best trading conditions for anything to be. I mean, this is once it gets up here and does this, it's just nothing to trade, right? This level was part of the strategy. You have to try it. I can't really trade all-time high levels great with this rollover, with all this stuff. Just kind of something that you need to note for yourself. Understand what levels are good for you, what levels are not. This is really, obviously, the trade of the day there. That overnight, the retest of the overnight low. Once you break above it and hold it, the bullishness stays in. And my write-up, I did mention, if you do go over to it and check it out, my write-up is really good for me to follow. If I would have just followed it, then it'd be fine. The 40 level, 19,940 is my bullish bearish line in the sand for the day. So the right here, 940, if you go into my levels, I'll pull it up. I gotta find my write-up. Give me a second. So we go here. This is the write-up that I post every Sunday pre-market. The level I was talking about right there, I'm going to call the 19,940 level as my bullish bearish line in the sand for the open tomorrow. And I mean, you can see that right there. I highlighted it. It's in there. What do you know? 19,940 flushes, holds a second time, and then has been the bullish line in the sand, right? This area here, that 940 to 926, I said 940 to 926 level. So right down into there should be support for the day. If the bulls are going to hold, then all-time highs, you're going to have to just guess and see what your targets are to the upside. That's just me not necessarily following that plan there, right? If you look at this, I'll send this in the chat so you can see it in case you can't read it. That's that. And here's that's from that. Yeah, that's from the write-up. So there it is. I definitely should. I mean, I'm sure the short definitely comes in and rolls over at some point. Just not before I get off the stream. Like I said, this week is going to be a little funky. My family's coming this week. My son's birthday's this week. We got the Juneteenth. So stock market, I believe, is closed. And also we have limited holiday shortened hours in the futures market. So nobody's really going to be trading. There's not going to be a lot of volume. With the rollover, you have triple witching Friday. So triple witching, you're going to get a lot of volume. You're going to get a lot of volatility. It's going to be a little funky. So just, be mindful of that as well. We just, have to see what we can do with the levels. But like I said, I'm not going to be able to stream. Yeah, barring any exception, I'm always on every single day, 8:30, a little bit before 8:30. I try to get on like 8:20, 8:15, 8:20, depending on the day. And then I stream till 11 every single day, barring these last few weeks with training, last week, this week with, family coming into town, with the holiday, all that fun stuff. It's kind of just a wash of a week as well. June is usually a crappy month for me in general. Another reason why I'm avoiding taking anything really here. This is the express funded. See, I didn't make any trades on it. Zeros across the board. So my funded account is still intact. Nothing to worry about on that. No trades on it. This is the loss limit. I'm sure now we're going to start to see this thing melt off because I was just hammering in and out instead of just letting it go. Instead of risking that one trade, I risked a few and paper cutted myself out on it. So it is like a few of them you saw, I was up about 100, 200 and then out, up at 200 and out. Looking for a decent move on these, more like 10 points, not 5 points. You just got to understand the market conditions that you're in. Overall, like I said, this week is going to be funky with the trading, with the streaming. So just understand that I won't be on as much this week. Definitely next week will be a lot better with streaming, with trades, with stuff to execute on, no holidays, stuff like that. So it should be better. The full roll will be completed by next week because the 21st is the expiration. So you'll know that. So the trade idea is going to probably be right. And then where we lost ourselves, this is going to be interesting here. These two attempts at breaking that high and the failure, the upper band of VWAP that you have right here, a good delta push to the downside. So you broke it. There's a support here. I think rotation down to 19,085 comes into play. So to wait for this secondary push probably was a better idea, right? I think this is where the heaviness probably comes. See what happens with 20,000. And now we're gonna hit off on it. That's fun. Fun times. So now we hit off pretty much right almost at where our first target was at 20,000. If this doesn't follow through, then it probably just continues to do the same choppiness. Yes, you can. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this market's ridiculous today. This is the irrational, longer than you can stay solvent. As Scott mentioned in the chat, the rotation down could happen. It could just stay up here the whole rest of the day. Could go all the way up to crazy highs. Let's see if we can find a upside target. I'm going to do this. Oop. Didn't mean to do that at all. Trying to figure out a good target to the upside for these longs for you guys. Let's see. Gonna get rid of these levels for a second. See, with the pullback, with the new contract, with the lack of levels, you're really not going to get a great target. 30 minutes. Trying to think on target wise how we're going to establish this. We have pumped up, based out, so potentially looking at another pump up. $20,005, $20,004, $20,400. $20,004 seems reasonable. So that's my thought on that. Oh, Evernote. Close that. If we're looking at measured moves here from this piece to this piece, 20,122 for today, 120 potentially, just based purely on measured moves. This first move up basically is here. Came back out, based, looking for that same kind of move to the high side. Like I said, down into that 20,120.75. The rest of the week, like I said, won't be on. If I am going to be on, I will mention it on my Instagram. So if you do have Instagram, follow me at Policing Pips. If you're on YouTube, just hit subscribe, hit the little bell, and then it'll notify you if I end up going live or not. We are not doing any of that. So we will be, obviously, like I said, I took a few shots at this kind of haphazardly towards the end of the stream here. I did want to take 1 or 2 shots at it. Didn't necessarily need to take 3 or 4, but it is what it is. We did it. Once we're in this combine trying to maximize it, the way we limited not taking trades in our XFA is just we don't trade it, right? If you're in a funded account, or if you're in an account that, some of these moves are a little bit sloppy, just don't execute in them, right? There's just no reason to keep yourself sane, to keep yourself, bullets in the gun for when the time actually comes, when your edge is available in the market, right? This was my edge. This was my trade. This is my setup. Everything about it tells me this is a long, and that's where I wanted to be long. I didn't get it. I was not able to get on that trade because of the timing, right? So going back and reviewing the trades, maybe eliminating that 5 minute prior to the hourly close rule could help me execute in this type of market environment, right? In normal market environments, and a little bit more higher volume, regular trading, not summer hours, not rollover, all that 5 minute prior to hourly close keeps me from getting whipped out of moves a lot of times. Now that it's slower, we're in the summer months, we're in these times where I can get to, really see the move kind of coming in. Realistically, I wasn't going to get whipped on that, right? I could have risked to the low here and been safe. Obviously, hindsight, always 2020. You could see this clear as day that it looks like a good trade, but if you're kind of rolling into it here, you're rolling through, the heaviness comes in, right? You come back, retest it, and then you pull back on it, right? That entry at that trend line, the crack of it, gives you that full confidence to go ahead and just basically risk to the low of this candle here and then rotate it up. We were looking at a rotational type day, so that 80 level, I was interested in shorting that as well. I wasn't interested in it at that point. I was interested in more here. We never came back down through it. Once we started to get bullish off this support, it hasn't looked back, right? Now we're just basing along this level, which is everybody trying to get short at all-time highs and just nothing happening to it, right? So the buyers are kind of holding this up. Even with NVIDIA being on the lows, I just don't have a lot of good information there. So until my next stream, if you're going to be waiting for it, maybe sometime later on this week, depending on it. Not tomorrow, not Wednesday for sure. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be Thursday at some point during the day or Friday some point early, and it'll be a shortened, abbreviated stream. If I take one trade or something like that and get off, that'll be that. But hopefully, like I said, if you guys made some money on the early stuff and they got done where the price action was just clearer, better moves to be had. Once you started executing here, I was expecting another move like that measured, never quite made it, and I just kept getting chopped within here and locked myself out of that. So, kind of just what I expected once that came along. After that second shot, you're kind of dead in the water. So, like I said, watch out for the stream moving forward, coming into the rest of the week. Like I said, tomorrow and Wednesday, nothing doing. Thursday, Friday, possibly might come on early just for a quick market recap type, see what's going on for the day. And then we'll just go from there. But until then, I appreciate everybody coming by. I hope you made some money. I hope you avoided OPEX. Not OPEX. You avoided the rollover choppy bullshit. If you didn't and you got chopped up like this, it is what it is. You got enough money in the account to trade again tomorrow and just continue to trade for tomorrow, trade for tomorrow, trade for tomorrow. I would expect this to rotate down sometime today. When it's going to happen, who knows? For us, we're done. We're going to go to work and we'll see what happens from there. Until then, I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.